Mr. Aperture. This is a story of Mr. Aperture, and how Mr. Aperture finishes the story. Not Creature Aperture is at the beginning of the story. You see, Mr. Aperture is one of the rudest people in the world, if not the rudest. He was rude to anybody and everybody, and the truth is, of what they haven't told you, it can't stop it. So of course in Big Town, which is where he lived, he had no friends at all. Not one. Miserable old Aperture, they used to call him. And he certainly looked it. Now, as well as being rude, Mr. Aperture was also rich. Very rich. One of the very richest people in the world. If not the richest. He had the longest limousine in Big Town. He had the longest garden in Big Town, and he had on top of the hill, in the middle of Big Town, was an enormous house, the biggest house in Big Town, and there he lived all alone. Miserable old Aperture. One very fine day, which is a lovely spring day, Mr. Aperture was walking in the gardens of his enormous house when suddenly he heard a voice, a little voice. "Hello," said the voice. Mr. Aperture looked, and there, in one of his hundreds of flower beds, was a goblin. "Aren't you going to say hello to me?" asked the goblin. "Go away," said Mr. Aperture rudely. "Oh, I know who you must be," said the goblin. "You must be Mr. Aperture, who's rude to everybody." Sniffed Mr. Aperture rudely. "Well, I know somebody who wants to see you," said the goblin, and skipped off the way goblins do. "Come on," he called over his shoulder. Mr. Aperture's curiosity got the better of him. He followed. In there, said the goblin, pointing at a small hole in the chair. But Mr. Upperchair doesn't like this because he himself is a bit big, and a small hole in the tree trunk was ever small. And the truth is, he can't fit through, or can he? Don't be silly, snorted Mr. Appleton, thinking that the goblin must have took him to the tree with a small for nothing. Oh, and not being silly, said the goblin. Yes, sir, sniffed Mr. Appleton. Can't possibly get in there. Spoke the goblin. And then he said a magic word known only to goblins, which sounded like "Wobble gobble gook," or something like that. Suddenly, Mr. Appleton started shrinking. He shrank and shrank until he was exactly the same size as the goblin. "Turn me back to my proper size at once." Muttered Mr. Appleton in a rage. "A shot in the goblin." And so saying, the goblin climbed through the hole into the tree. Poor Mr. Appleton didn't know what to do, so he followed him into the tree trunk hole. Inside the tree there was a staircase going down and down and down. And do you know where it led to? It led directly to the kingdom of the goblins. It's where. They demand to be taken immediately to whoever is in charge, said Mr. Appleton angrily. "Oh, you shall, said the goblin. And he led Mr. Appleton through the streets of the kingdom of the goblins until they came to a palace. A guard sentry was guarding the gate. "Halt! Who goes there?" cried. "I've brought Mr. Appleton," said the goblin. "Oh," said the sentry, slow. "Go through." The goblin and Mr. Appleton passed through the gates and into a courtyard and through some more gates and a long, long corridor, through some large gold doors and into a huge room. And there, sitting on the gold throne, was the king of the goblins. "Your Majesty," announced the goblin, bowing low, "may I present Mr. Appleton?" "Ah," said the king, "so you're the fellow who's about being rude to everybody and doesn't have any friends at all." "Rubbish, nonsense," said Mr. Appleton rudely. "I can see what I've heard is true," said the king, looking at the indignant Mr. Appleton. "You're much too puffed up with your own importance. Therefore," he continued, "I'm going to allow you back to your proper space. When you get back to Big Town, if you're rude to anybody at all, you'll immediately shrink to the size. You know, understand?"